Today, let's look at something briefly from the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse number 37. Yet in all these things, we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. The Apostle Paul, in this particular chapter, is talking about the suffering of the church. In verse number 18, he talked about how he considered that the suffering of the present time was not worthy to be compared to the glory that was going to be revealed in them. When you read verse number 31, the apostle began to ask a question. He says, "What then shall we say to these things? If God be for us, who can be against us?" Then he says, "He who did not spare his only son, but gave him up for us, why will he not with him freely give us all things?" So the Apostle Paul found rest in the love of God for him. He realized that if God loved him that much to give up Christ for him, then God will offer up anything for him, because there's nothing else God has that is more valuable than Christ. And if Christ was given to us even when we were yet sinners, why will God not freely give us all things, like healing or joy or peace? Why will he not give us all things? So when the Apostle Paul looked at the suffering of the church, he saw the persecution of the church, the hardship that they were going through just because of their decision to follow Jesus Christ. He was convinced that because of the love of God for them, they were more than conquerors. He was convinced that because God loved them so much to give up Christ for their sake, they were already victorious. What the Apostle Paul wants us to know is that there is no situation, no problem, no circumstance that means God has stopped loving us. That means that God no more cares about us. None. That is why the Apostle Paul will say we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. In other words, if he loves us, then there is absolutely nothing that will stop him from loving us. And if nothing stops God from loving us, then there is nothing that will stop him from helping us. And if nothing will stop God from helping us, then there is no reason why we have to be worried. And there is no reason why we have to be afraid. And there is no reason why we will not overcome. Because his love has already made us overcomers. If God gave us his best, even whilst we were yet sinners, why will he not give us the rest? Because he already gave us the best. That is what this particular scripture means. And when we find rest in the scripture, we begin to see the manifestation of that in our life. God bless you.